The kid I raised for 3 years isn't mine. The wife I comforted for 5 years ran off with my buddy. I ended up with massive debts and a death sentence, and I died when I opened my eyes again. Tina was there in a wedding dress, demanding $2 million more for a dowry, or she wouldn't marry me. Without much thought, I held the bridesmaid's hand. "Linda, marry me. I swear on my life, I'll treat you right for the rest of my days." Linda had had a crush on me for years. I only realized on my deathbed what she had done for me when I couldn't afford Tina's dowry. Linda anonymously sent money through my friend when I lacked a big enough house to keep Tina happy. Linda anonymously had a friend loan one to me, even arranging a nanny and fulfilling Tina's endless demands. Those were Linda's secret deeds, and I ignorantly credited it all to my good buddy Eric. I let Eric into my home and business. I let Eric get close to Tina. I didn't even know when Tina was pregnant with Eric's kid. Thinking of this, my eyes welled up, and I kneeled down, strengthening my vow to Linda. If you're willing to marry me today, Ben will only love you. But if you're not, I won't push. Just give me a chance to win your heart. Before I finished talking, Linda cut me off. She was tearing up, her body trembling slightly. She said, "I do." Her response left me overjoyed. I couldn't wait to take this amazing woman home and cherish her. But right then, there were others in the room. They all looked shocked. Tina's mom bit her lip, saying, "Ben, what do you mean 2 million dowry and you back out on Tina? I praised you a lot to Tina." "You've really let me down." Tina's dad, his face red with anger, added, "This wedding with the hotel, the cars, the house, cost millions, and 2 more million breaks you. At this moment, you abandoned Tina and just grabbed some woman to marry. Are you trying to shame us or yourself?" Eric, the supposed friend, chimed in. "Come on, Ben, it's just 2 million. Sell your parents' house. It's possible. You just need to write an IOU. You're all family. It's like moving money from one pocket to another. No big deal." In my past life, I listened to Eric and wrote that IOU. Tina's parents used it to force my folks to sell their house. In court, my elderly parents ended up in a retirement home. The wedding expenses left them broke. After the wedding, I handed over all my income to Tina. This meant my parents couldn't afford a decent care home, suffering in a rundown place. They passed away within 2 years of my wedding. I discovered while packing their things that they had been mistreated in that home. They reached out to me, but I trusted Tina and Eric too much. I thought my parents were being melodramatic. Looking back, I was beyond foolish. I hurt the people I loved most for these backstabbers. Now Tina joined in attacking me. She threatened, "Ben, if you leave this room today, you better never show up in front of me again." Tina, in her white wedding dress, sat on the bed surrounded by auspicious symbols like dates and peas. Her elegant face was now twisted in anger. In the past, seeing her like this would have made my knees weak, bowing to keep her calm. But now, I'm done indulging her. I held Linda's hand, thanking her sincerely. "Thank you, Linda, for believing in me." Tears hung in her bright eyes, filled with joy seldom seen. I glared at Tina. "Get off that bed. It's no longer yours," she gasped, eyes wide open. "What did you say?" I sneered, addressing not only Tina but everyone associated with her in the room. "I arranged this wedding room and rented it from the hotel. The bride is no longer Tina. Linda just accepted my proposal, so Tina, kindly get off that bed. I won't keep my bride waiting." Tina's face turned from red to blue. "Ben, you're not serious. When have I ever jokingly dealt with you?" You. She pointed at me and Linda, but I knocked her hand away. Without hesitation, I called in my friends. "Guys, I'm getting my bride. Let's get this place sorted." My friends promptly responded with spirited cheers. Having served in the military before, many were fellow soldiers, towering over everyone and exuding an indomitable presence. They'd witnessed the injustices I'd faced and already felt compelled to stand up for me. Now was the moment for retribution. Their faces said it all. They were not to be trifled with. Tina's crew looked like absolute cowards in comparison, not daring to utter a word, especially since Tina was clearly in the wrong. Before her parents could intervene, her entourage silently slipped away one by one. Tina's parents just wouldn't give up. They tried brainwashing me, but I had no interest in listening to them, so I had my friends kick them out. As for Tina, who stubbornly wouldn't leave my big bed, my friends did the honors of tossing her off. With the bedsheets wrapped around her, Tina was furious. "Ben, you're insane! Open the door! I swear you'll regret this. Me agreeing to marry you is the best thing that ever happened to your family, and you pull this stunt. You'll be begging me one day, and I won't even look at you." No matter how much she yelled, I kept the bridal suite locked. I called in a makeup artist and rushed a wedding dress from a store for Linda. I stayed by Linda's side, waiting while she got ready. When she came out of the fitting room, she was simply stunning, way more beautiful than ever. That's when I realized Linda had been holding back her beauty all along. She'd always just stood in the shadows, playing second fiddle to Tina. I stepped forward and took Linda in my arms. I knew she was nervous and unsure, and all of it was because I'd been blind in the past and hadn't noticed the one always there for me. "Helping me, Ben? I don't know why, but I'm scared," she said. I squeezed her hand, giving her confidence. "Yeah, today's wedding is kind of sudden. Normally I'd court you, let you slowly accept me. But Linda, I can't wait. I can't wait to make you my bride. I'm scared if I wait, someone else will take you away from me." Holding Linda close, we walked step by step toward the wedding hall. Though the guests were puzzled about the bride swap, thankfully my parents went along with it. After the ceremony, they pulled me aside, having heard all that went down in the bridal suite. They took a deep breath. "We've had concerns about Tina for a while now. I guess it turned out all right. Now about Linda, son. Don't let her down," I nodded earnestly. Later that day, Linda and I got our marriage license. That's when I learned Linda was an orphan. Her parents had left her quite the fortune. "Now that we're married, what's mine is yours. I know the wedding took a toll on your finances. Here, use this for your business endeavors. Our future depends on you," she said. Her generosity had me tearing up. Compared to Tina, Linda felt like an angel. "Linda, I love you. I'll spend the rest of my life loving you." That night, Linda and I tangled in the sheets until we fell asleep. The next morning, I got up early to make breakfast for Linda. While she ate, I tidied up, did the laundry, and took out the trash. I wanted to give her happiness, not just empty promises. When she was done eating, I drove her to work. As soon as Linda's figure disappeared into the company, an unwelcome guest showed up. Tina came out from the subway, spotted me, and strutted over in her high heels, hands on hips, wearing the same disdainful look. "Ben? Now you come looking for me? Isn't it a bit late?" I just chuckled at her arrogant face. "Who said I was looking for you?" "Oh, please, after your stunt last night, you must regret it, right? Missing out on me and making a fool of yourself. I almost thought you had some guts, but here you are crawling back to me." I didn't want to hit a woman, so I turned to leave, holding back my anger. But Tina grabbed me and slapped me hard across the face. It was a full-fledged slap, the sting setting my face on fire. Before I could react, she tugged my tie like a leash, dragging me into the building. Plenty of my co-workers were at the wedding. Get in here, get on your knees, and bark like a dog saying I was wrong all day. Maybe that'll calm me a bit. And if you want me back, 200 grand isn't cutting it. Sell your parents' house, your company, and bring another $1 million to my folks. Then I'll consider being your girlfriend again. Kissing, sleeping together will be off limits. I'll let you hold my hand at most. If you propose again, that ring better be Cartier's newest." I couldn't care less about what this maniac was saying. I pulled my tie free and straightened my clothes. Tina aimed to insult me, but I noticed the building's owner, Mike, coming over. "Mike, didn't expect to see you here," I greeted him. Mike's voice easily overshadowed Tina's. She turned and hesitated at the sight of Mike. Mike approached me and shook my hand warmly. "Ben, been meaning to meet you. Glad you're here today." I glanced at Tina, then back at Mike. A chance meeting with a mad dog dragged me in. "Ben, who are you calling a mad dog?" Tina protested, but Mike's presence kept her quiet. Mike, seeing this, continued, "Ben, let's chat on the side. Finish up our last discussion," he suggested. I saw the glint in Mike's eyes and decided to play along. We moved over to some chairs. Tina, unable to keep her usual bravado in front of her boss, muttered, "Mike, I'm heading up. You're busy." But as she turned to leave, Mike stopped her. "Get us 2 coffees." She hesitated. "Mike, I'm the receptionist." Mike smirked. "Receptionists get coffee, don't they?" Tina gritted her teeth and glared at me before finally going to get the coffee. Once she got back, I didn't say a single word, but Mike sure did catch on to my vibe. He told Tina, "Go clean the floor, make it shine." Tina flat out refused. "Mike, I'm the receptionist, not the janitor." Mike snorted. "Do it or leave. Without even a college degree, I've already been too generous making you a receptionist. If it wasn't for Ben, do you really think you'd be in my company?" Tina's face turned red with anger. "Ben, are you just gonna watch Mike bully me?" I shrugged, sneering a bit. "Mike, your employee is hilarious. The boss asks her to do something, and she calls it bullying." Mike gave me a slight smile, then turned a stern gaze back at Tina. "Now you're reassigned to the cleaning department. Go change into the uniform and clean this lobby 100 times. "I won't." Tina straightened up defiantly. "I quit." Mike raised his voice, spelling it out. "Fine, you want to quit? Go to finance and calculate how much you owe us for breaching your labor contract. Once it's settled, you can leave whenever you want." Mike's words reminded Tina of that labor contract she signed when she got in through the back door because of me. It stipulated a monthly salary of 30 grand for Tina, with a $1 million penalty if she got fired. Likewise, if she quit on her own, she'd have to pay the company $1 million. 30 grand a month was an absurdly high salary for a receptionist. Mike only did it out of respect for me. But Tina had worried Mike might change his mind, so she insisted on including that penalty clause. The thought of that $1 million penalty turned Tina's face green. She looked at me. "Ben, you cover that $1 million for me, or I'll never forgive you." I laughed. "Why should I pay you $1 million? Just go clean the floors and don't make Mike call the police." "Ben, are you really breaking up with me? Didn't we break up long ago?" I replied. "I'm married now." I even showed her my wedding ring. She started to cry, but wouldn't take a step back. In the end, Mike had to call the cleaning supervisor to drag her away and make her change clothes. All morning, I watched Tina wiping her tears while being scolded by the supervisor. She looked pitiful, but also a bit deserving. I realized I'd put her on too high a pedestal all these years, and now she had no self-awareness. After wrapping up my meeting with Mike, he assured me, "Don't worry. As long as Tina works for me, I'll take good care of her." I gave a faint smile. "Thanks, Mike." But as soon as I got in my car, a cleaning uniform-clad Tina rushed over to me again. She grabbed my ears, yanking at my clothes, her eyes as red as cherries. I felt furious. I wanted to push back, but she just collapsed into my arms, clinging tightly. "Ben, are you really abandoning me?" Her tone was softening, mixed with tears. "You used to do whatever I asked, and now you let Mike treat me like this. Ben, do you or do you not consider me your wife?" She went on, trying to sound more appealing. "I know you want me to give in, so here I am doing it. Can't forget you can't move on. Let's reconcile. I'll marry you. Just give my parents $1 million, and I'll be yours forever. I'll even quit my job to stay at home for you. Isn't that what you want?" She kept finding places for me to spend money, on the house, cars, her parents' health care, and retirement. "I won't work at Mike's anymore. It's humiliating," she pleaded to be moved to my company, wanting to be the CEO's wife. Seeing her shamelessness, I scoffed and pushed her away. She acted like a clingy adhesive bandage. In the past, she'd always used her body to appease me after a fight, expecting me to compensate her with whatever money pleased her. "Ben, I know you can't live without me," she teased, taking off her clothes. It was nauseating. I threw her janitor uniform out of the car and locked the doors behind me. "Tina, keep your dignity. I have a wife now. One more incident of this harassment and I'll call the police." And I drove off, ignoring her. She kept calling and texting me with disgusting messages. She didn't hesitate to drag our past private moments into these messages. It was degrading. When I got to work, I blocked her on everything. Her parents even showed up at the office, hurling insults. They called me a rapist for supposedly violating their daughter and accused me of stealing their dowry, house, and car. I had security deal with them. And when that wasn't enough, I got the police involved. I also had a lawyer send them a notice. I was prepared to sue for defamation. It wasn't until the authorities intervened that Tina's parents quieted down, though they still left with plenty of resentment. God knows how they'll badmouth me outside, but really, I don't care anymore as long as I'm away from Tina. This new chance that life won't be wasted. That's when Eric came by. He gave me that serious look. "Ben, I know you're still upset about yesterday, but making Tina a janitor and suing her parents, isn't that a bit much?" I glanced at my so-called good buddy with a cold smirk. "So what do you think I should do?" He had a serious look on his face, seemingly deep in thought. After a while, he came up with an idea for me. "Why don't you go to the bank with me now, withdraw all the money you have, see if you can get a loan against your house and company, and take all the cash to Tina's parents? Hand it over respectfully, then beg for forgiveness by kneeling a few times. Buy Tina some jewelry and let her have a shopping spree on your credit card. That way her parents and Tina might not be mad at you anymore, but that's just to stop them from being angry. Earning their forgiveness might require more effort from you. You'd need to go to Nas every day. Cook, do laundry, and clean for her parents. Tina likes wearing high heels, so you'd better be prepared to massage her feet every night. If you don't step up, I doubt Tina will agree to marry you again. She's such a delicate girl. You need to take responsibility for her." He kept rambling on, and when I didn't respond, he swallowed and asked, "Ben, do you think there's something wrong with what I'm saying?" I shook my head and asked, "How do you know Tina needs someone to massage her feet every night? Have you done it?" He was startled and blushed. "No, Tina's your girlfriend. How could I? That's crossing the line." I chuckled softly. "Oh, maybe I'm overreacting." He took a deep breath to calm himself and continued. "You love Tina so much. You've made it through the past 2 years. You have to keep proving you love her just as much in the future. Didn't you once say you wanted to be a responsible man?" I nodded. "Yeah, being a good man is tough, but I think you've got a knack for it. Why don't you try?" He frowned. "Ben," I tossed a file onto his lap. "You're so invested in others' family issues. Look at the mess you've made yourself. You screwed up this deal, and now they're demanding $5 million in damages. Pay up." He clenched the file, his face draining. "No way, Ben. I missed this clause in the contract. How can it be $5 million? $5 million's a lot, but didn't you just buy a car and a house?" "You could mortgage them and pay it off," I replied with a flat tone. He got anxious. "But those were hard to buy. Ben, help me out with the $5 million. You were just advising I give all my money to Tina's family. How can I help you if I do that?" He came closer. "No, I meant settle my $5 million first. Any leftover can go to Tina's parents. How does that sound?" I looked at him coldly. "Eric, is Tina's shamelessness learned from you? You spend my money, use my stuff, and still think I owe you everything? Get a grip, Eric. Come on, Ben, what do you mean? Aren't we still good friends? You're really going to end our friendship over $5 million? I stood up from my chair, realizing I had nothing more to say to Eric. I had security escort him out and fired him in front of everyone. I thought my actions might cause a stir among my coworkers, but instead, they openly expressed relief. "Then you finally saw Eric's true colors," one said. I was taken aback. They continued, "We've been saying he's no good. He's always sneaking around trying to get away with things. Remember the coffee and milk in the break room that seemed to disappear so quickly? Eric was selling it, and he's been taking the office paper and supplies for his personal use. For someone with such a high salary, he does no work, just hovers around you all day. You should have fired him sooner. Eric even harassed female co-workers. There are videos of it on the company's cameras. We hope he gets taken to court for it." I listened, my expression unreadable. "Then do it. Sue him." My co-workers were shocked. I continued, "I misjudged him before. Now I know Eric's true nature. If he did what he did..." "You're saying I won't let it slide. He will face consequences if any of those he harassed are around, or if you have their contact. I'll get them a lawyer." My colleagues cheered at this. The security team immediately checked the footage, and the findings were shocking. Eric had even done stuff with Tina at the office. Gathering this evidence, I was set on ruining Eric financially. In a past life, he made me suffer. This time, I wouldn't let him get away with anything. After handing the evidence to the police, I got a call from Linda. She was crying. "My heart, Linda, what's wrong?" Her broken voice came through. "Ben, come quick. Make them understand I'm not the other woman. I swear I'm not." Her voice shattered my heart, ached as I reassured her. "Linda, hang in there. I'm coming right now." I got in my car and floored it, ramping up to 120 miles per hour. A little over 10 minutes later, I reached my company's building. In the elevator, I overheard a conversation. "Do you know that Linda? She's our company's designer. They say she's a homewrecker." "Really? She seems so low-key. Apparently she seduced Tina's husband. There's a fight upstairs now." "A fight? You mean between two women?" "Yeah. Tina brought her family and even pinned Linda to the ground. No one's daring to call the cops. Who knows what state Linda's in now?" Suppressing my anger, I shouted, "What are you talking about? Linda's no homewrecker. She's my lawfully wedded wife." The two chatting employees froze, speechless from my outburst. As soon as the elevator stopped, I rushed inside. What I saw shocked me. Linda was pinned down under Tina's parents, struggling to get up. I dashed over, shoved Tina's parents aside, and scooped Linda into my arms. "Ben, tell them I am not a homewrecker," she sobbed, looking like she was about to faint. Seeing the bruises on her face made my blood boil. I glared intensely at Tina and her parents. My stare seemed to shake them a bit, but they still put on a brave face. "Ben, this woman ruined your marriage and seduced you. As elders, can't we teach her a lesson?" they argued. "Tina was with you first, so why are you messing around with this woman? Talk some sense here. Tina won't marry you now. Just pay us $1 million and we're done. Otherwise, we'll accuse you of rape. You raped our Tina. Our girl was defiled and humiliated, and you must compensate." As they kept making threats, Mike had already put a massive projector to work in the office. He played the videos I'd given to the police ahead of time. There were clips of Eric and Tina together and footage of Tina's parents making absurd demands for a bridal gift. There were even recordings of them bad-mouthing me at my company countless times. Eric said, "Once you're pregnant, let Ben raise the kid." Tina said, "Aren't you worried it's not purely your child?" "What if it picks up Ben's genes too?" Eric chuckled. "Don't worry. Ben's such a pushover. Just tell him it's your time of the month. He'll never know. Once the child's born, get Ben to hand over the finances. I'll mortgage his company and we'll be together in no time." Tina giggled in his arms. "You're brilliant. Now come here with the disgusting scenes on display." No one dared label Linda the homewrecker. Tina and her family found themselves publicly humiliated, targets of the crowd's wrath. Wow, this girl's disgusting, cheating, and then blaming someone else. They wanted a $2 million bridal gift. Good thing Ben dodged a bullet with this bride. Sickening. Pretending to be so posh when all they care about is money. Call the cops. This beating is assault. They should do time for this. Tina even tried to flirt with Mike once, but it didn't work. How gross is that? Everyone was chiming in, and Tina and her parents looked like they wanted to vanish. But I wasn't going to let them escape so easily. They hurt Linda, and they needed to pay for it. The police arrived, and with everyone's testimonies, Tina and her parents were taken into custody. I went with Linda to the hospital while Mike handled things at the station. He kept me updated via video call, assuring me he wouldn't let this slide. Ben, don't worry. I'll make sure Tina and her parents are charged with intentional assault, Mike promised. He also demanded compensation for the damage they caused at the office, claiming lost productivity and property damage. As for Linda's injuries, Mike, as her boss, demanded compensation for her medical costs, lost wages, and emotional distress. Sure, we'll pay. It's just one person. How much could it be? Tina dismissed, not acknowledging any wrongdoing. Even exposed like that, all she felt was brief embarrassment. Mike laid out all the compensation claims in front of the police. 3 computers got damaged, special ones for designers, each costing $10,000. So that's $30,000 right there. Tina fired back. What kind of junky computer costs $10,000? Mike smirked. The computer's worth is the least concern. What matters is that they stored years' worth of designs. Losing them means losing clients' trust, and that's not counting this year's ongoing projects, some near completion. Tina bit her lip, frustrated. Mike, you're ripping us off. But Mike ignored her. He told the police, we design private villas. Each project takes months and brings in huge orders, which should factor into the compensation. Oh, and Linda's injuries. She'll be off work for a while, and it's not the company's burden. Linda earns $10,000 a month here. With leave and recovery, cost $100,000. Sounds fair? Tina's parents seemed stunned. $100,000 for Linda? Are you crazy? The two of them started arguing. The police just put the person in jail, leaving Tina alone to handle everything. While trying to weasel her way out, Tina wanted to rope me into her mess, but I already blocked her so she couldn't reach me. Under pressure from Mike, I had no choice but to sign that $1 million compensation form. After we left the police station, Tina and her parents planned to skip out on paying. But the police had their ways. They auctioned off everything under her name, like her house, car, and jewelry. The thought of all those gifts. As I had given, Tina made my blood boil. Linda comforted me, saying it's not worth the trouble since Tina was left with nothing. Holding Linda and listening to her voice calmed me down a lot, but my worry was that Tina wouldn't stop bothering me until she learned her lesson. Linda reassured me that Tina wouldn't get anything from me anyway. Once she had a new target, she'd forget about me. And she was right. Tina got married a month later, pregnant and all. She married a local rich guy who had money but no looks or height. He just hoped she'd give him a big, healthy son. A few months later, Tina had a premature birth and did give them a son. Tina and I were supposed to have nothing more to do with each other. But it turned out the private hospital where she gave birth was the same one where Linda had her checkups. We bumped into Tina by chance, and she insulted Linda in front of me. Linda was pregnant, and I didn't want to upset her, so I didn't confront Tina. Instead, I secretly took some of the baby's hair for a paternity test. A few hours later, I got the results and sent them to the rich guy. That night, Tina, who was still in recovery, got kicked out of the hospital. The hot-headed rich guy beat her nearly to death on the street. If the police hadn't intervened, I'm not sure she would have made it home alive. The next day, news of Tina cheating hit the headlines. They said she had broken ribs, a ruptured uterus, and had her face stomped into what was basically disfigurement. Linda saw the news. I never thought Tina would still be causing trouble at this point. She could have lived a good life, but it's such a waste. People just aren't the same anymore. I caressed Linda's belly soothingly, saying she brought this on herself, giving up a good life for silly dreams. Linda nodded, then suddenly asked, "Do you know who the kid's father is?" I was puzzled. "It's definitely not me," Linda said. "I trust you. I just wondered if she can't go back to the rich guy. Who would be the father? She'll have to find the kid's dad eventually. Eric's in jail, so it's probably not him, but who knows?" Some time passed, and Linda was nearing her due date. On the way to the hospital, we saw Tina in the distance, holding a baby and chasing a man, shouting that he was the father. I'd never seen this guy before, but his clothes said money wasn't an issue. He just laughed, telling Tina to have some self-respect, calling her names. According to him, she approached his brother before him, and now she was on to someone else to claim as the father. Tina pleaded for a DNA test, but the man couldn't be bothered. He slapped her and dumped her in a nearby trash can, saying that's where she belonged. The car drove too fast for us to see what happened next. After Linda gave birth, my parents came to visit. They mentioned some rumors about Tina. Apparently, she's now chasing men on the street, claiming they're the father, while her son passed away because of her neglect. Mike gave us a nice compensation for what they did to Linda. NTS took a hit after these events, ending up in a not-so-great nursing home. Anyway, it's not our problem. I invited my parents in to see the kids. Linda had twins, a boy and a girl, perfectly completing our family. My parents played with the babies while I took care of Linda. My heart was filled with happiness. Thank you, Linda. I love you.